Hello movie fans and welcome back to Here's Johnny Movie Reviews. This is our first movie review on the channel. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy. And today we are ranking every episode of Friday Night Dinner in order from worst to best, in my opinion. I absolutely love Friday Night Dinner. I think it is one of the best British shows ever made. And we are going to rank every episode from worst to best. So without further ado, let's get started. If you're a Friday Night Dinner fan, comment your favourite quote in the comments. At number 37, we have The Girlfriend. Now, this is the notorious episode where Adam actually brings home a girlfriend, but this little shit of a child shows up and bugs it up for him. I just really don't like this episode, in my opinion. It is absolutely awful. Often when Adam or Johnny get in trouble, they've often done something bad to deserve it, even Dad. But here, you just feel bad for Adam, and everything's gone wrong for him. Everyone's turned on him because of this little shit. His girlfriend leaves him, and it's all just because of a misunderstanding where his girlfriend's sister was sending him nude pictures. I just feel bad for him. At number 36, we have The Other Jackie. Now, this is the episode where Jim goes on a date with another woman called Jackie, and she ends up coming home, and she ends up not liking Jewish people. I can't remember what the word is for it. I think it's anti-Semitic. I'm not too sure, but anyway, she just doesn't like Jewish people, and she ends up getting chucked out. Now, she has a peculiar laugh in the episode. She always does a nervous laugh after everything she says. I just find her annoying. Never really found her funny, to be honest. Just didn't really do a lot for me, and I just kind of felt bad for the family by the end, and also kind of Jim, because he was getting along well with her, and she just got chucked out. Although I will say, I do love the scene in the restaurant, I think it's this episode anyway, where Jim accidentally catches the napkin on fire. I think that is great. At number 35, we have Wilson. Now, this is the episode where Jim's beloved dog Wilson dies, and although I do love the scene where Jim's dog dies, because you feel really bad for Jim, and it's probably the saddest moment in the show, the rest of the episode is just not very good. I mean, the last few minutes is quite good, where Jim makes up the poem for Wilson on the spot, and it's got a good laugh. But I just don't really enjoy the rest of the episode, with prank calls to Adam about the job in America, and just building the shelf. I just didn't find it that interesting. In number 34, we have The Surprise. Now, this is the episode with Jackie's birthday party that she has planned for herself, and Martin has told all the guests the wrong date. I don't think this episode is the worst in the show, definitely not, that's why it's not on number 37. But I just don't think it's amazing, to be honest. If I could pick two moments to make it great, it's obviously Horrible Grandma is amazing, and the chicken man. Chicken? Will there be chicken there? I think that guy is absolutely amazing, and I think the ending where he's in Jackie's bed eating chicken is pretty funny. She just looks really shocked. In number 33, we have the pilot episode, The Sofa Bed. I don't think pilots are often the best in shows. I thought the best pilot in a show was probably the pilot for Bottom, and even this, the pilot's just not very good. It's quite forgettable. The only thing I really remember about it is when the man who's taken the sofa bed asks Jim how did his toilet break, and Jim just sort of stares at him, because obviously Jim hasn't broken his toilet, he's just trying to use Jackie's to get close to her. And the rest of the episode was just pretty boring. Martin yelling shit when he breaks his back was pretty funny though. In at number 32, we have The Females. Now, this is the last episode of the show, actually, so we're going from first to last. I didn't find this episode amazing, to be honest. I mean, it got some good moments. I really like when Milson has babies and Jim's scared of the babies. I think that's really funny, and the babies are adorable. But I just didn't find the rest of the episode that interesting. I do like when Martin gets glass in the crumble in the end. I thought that was pretty funny. But apart from that, I just feel bad for Jackie, really. Just finally meeting his boys' girls, and it just gets mucked up by Martin because he's such an idiot. And at number 31, we have The Jingle. Now, The Jingle is a good episode. I mean, it's good. I do like the bit with the duck radio. It's just a bit forgettable for me. It's the second episode in the show. I always thought that in the first season, I know it's oldish, but Martin looks really young in the first season, and that sort of puts me off, because he's meant to be like an old man, sort of. And that just really puts me off. And also, I just don't really like this episode in general. I thought it was kind of boring. And I also felt bad for Adam when, sorry about that. I also felt bad for Adam when they cut his music out of the commercial. Just felt bad for him. In at number 30, we have the Two Tonys. Now, the Two Tonys has never been a favourite episode of mine. I found the Tony really annoying, just as Martin does. And it's just not really a favourite episode of mine, to be honest. I just find it a bit boring in throughout. If I could have one highlight, it's probably, obviously, Pass Me the Pineapple. And Jim seeing Jackie's mother and going, Phantom. I thought that was pretty funny. At number 29, we have Congratulations. Now, this is the episode where Johnny gets married in Vegas to an American lady, or as Jim puts it, American lady. Now, this episode's alright. You do feel bad for Johnny getting chucked out by Jackie and stuff, but overall it's just not very great. I mean, the actress in it is alright. I just don't really like how every British sitcom has to have an American character in it. It's just not funny and just uninteresting. One funny bit I do think is when Jim sees, obviously when Jim keeps going yeehaw when he spills the champagne, but mainly when he sees the congratulations banner, he goes, you remembered my birthday. And obviously Grandma's in this episode, so that's an immediate highlight. Number 29 is The New Car. Now, this is one of the few episodes that I'm not amazingly familiar with. But I just don't really find it that interesting, to be honest. I don't like the character of Liz. I think she's annoying. And just Johnny's new car looks stupid. And it's just a very uninteresting episode, to be honest. I just don't find it that interesting. There's not much I really like about it, to be honest. There's not really... Yeah, it's just, I know I've said it already, but it's just a bit boring, to be honest. I mean, if there was one funny bit, it's probably when Martin goes, is this your new car? Yep. Do they not like you there? I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, apart from that, you just kind of feel bad for Johnny and stuff. Especially when his car gets stolen by the thief at the end. I thought that was pretty funny, but again, you just feel bad for him. And Liz is super annoying. And at number 28, we have The Date. Oh, no, sorry, number 27 even. Sorry, I got my numbers mixed up there. The Date is a good episode, I think, but just not one of my favourites. I mean, there's some great moments, like when Jackie sends Adam out to get milk, even though they already have loads and loads of cartons of milk. And there's also some other good moments, like when Jim meets her and goes, you're not Jackie. And it's a good episode, just overall, sorry if I keep stopping, I've just got something in my throat. I mean, it's a good episode, but overall, it's just not very interesting, and I felt bad for, obviously, I felt bad for Adam when Johnny just kissed her at the end. Just didn't find that interesting. In number 26, we have The Dress. Now, this is the first appearance of Auntie Val in an episode. Just quick side note, a lot of people hate Val. I absolutely love Val. I think Val's amazing, an amazing character. And just a nice person, I think. She can be obviously annoying at sometimes, but I think she's just amazingly funny, and she's a strong woman, which would definitely helps with some of the episodes, and like revealing some of the plot lines to especially Jackie, and sometimes Martin and the boys. And I just think it's funny. This is a good episode, I think. Obviously Martin from the first episode didn't throw his science magazines away. Jackie finds out and she wants him to burn them, and he doesn't burn them, and ends up instead burning Val's dress for the wedding. And number 26, we have The Loft. Now, The Loft is a good episode, I think. I like when Martin has the pigeon shit on his chest, and he washes it over the potatoes. But overall, I just don't find it very funny. I mean, there are some good moments. Obviously, the row between Jackie and Martin is really funny, where it was because he dreamt that he was sitting in a bath of milk with Lady Di. I mean, that was obviously funny, but apart from that, I just didn't find it an amazing episode. I thought it was the last bit where Johnny dislocates his shoulder was pretty funny, but apart from that, not a favourite of mine. In at number 24, we have The Curtains. Now, this is the third episode in the show. Oh, wait. No, it's the third episode, sorry. And it is the first appearance of Grandma in an episode. Now, Grandma is an amazing character. She's obviously very funny. And she ends up going out with Mr. Morris, who we'll get to later. But I just think it's a great episode, this one. I mean, just what an episode to be on. I mean, it's such a good episode. And I just really... I really enjoy it. I think this is where the point where episodes start to get really good for me. I mean, they start to get good. Obviously, I think they start to get good around more 15. But yeah, this episode is really good. I quite enjoyed it. Number 24, we have Lord Luck. Oh, sorry, also about the curtains, I love the bit where the grandma tells Jackie to go to her room, and Jackie says, go to your room. But I haven't got a room. I'll find a room. I love that bit. I think that bit's really funny. In number 23, we have Lord Luck. Now, Lord Luck is the episode with the ventriloquist dummy and Johnny's depressed friend who comes in. I think the episode overall is alright. I just feel bad for Johnny's friend, really. Overall, the episode's pretty good. I just feel bad for Johnny's friend the whole way through. Apart from the last bit, obviously, where he gets over it. But I just didn't feel very happy for him. And obviously, a main reason my place is so high is because Jim's reaction to Lord Luck is amazing. And then also saying the butter's off instead of saying bugger off is just amazing. In at number 22, we have the yogurts. Now, this is the second episode with Liz. And I think Liz is the only character in the show to appear in 2 episodes in a row and then never come back. So that's an interesting bit of trivia for you. I think the yogurts is a good episode. It's just never really been a favourite of mine. Yogurts is really good. I mean, there are some great moments. Like, I love when they lock Grandma in the boot and Jim takes them to Mike Sullivan's and he's a town planner. I thought you were a locksmith. Why? Locks. Yeah, I think this is a good episode. I think it's pretty solid. I just never been a favourite of mine. And obviously Grandma is amazing in the episode. In number 21, we have the piano. Now, one of my best friends really hates this episode, one of his least favourites, because he hates the piano tuner, Mr. Greencock. But I kind of agree with him. I don't like Mr. Greencock overall. I quite like the overall story in the episode. I mean, some elements aren't great. But I really like when they say, we can't leave him on his own, can we? Martin. I think, Crispy Duck. And then obviously, I love the last, 10 minutes or so where everyone just enters the house and it just becomes a mess. And obviously, Jim being in their bathtub is absolutely amazing. Comedy gold. In number 20, we have the Mercedes. This is the episode with Sheila Bloom, aka Bitchface. And I think Sheila Bloom is a very funny character. I really like Sheila Bloom. I mean, obviously she's a dick, but she's really funny. There are some great moments, including Adam almost getting run over by Sheila. I just kissed her breasts a little. Good God. And my Mercedes. And also when her mother died in the Mercedes. She just goes on about the Mercedes, Sheila Bloom. It can get annoying at sometimes, but like Johnny and Adam, I found it very funny. And at number 19, we have the anniversary. Now, this is the episode where it's Martin and Jackie's anniversary, and Martin paints a picture of Jackie. And Jim also ends up coming along, and also Jackie hates the photo, and Jim ends up coming along, where he's heavily sedated. When he's heavily sedated, I mean, he's just flat out. And he ends up sleepwalking around the house and pissing on the portrait, which Jackie is very happy about. I think this episode is pretty good. I quite enjoy it. There are some elements that I don't enjoy, like I definitely think it's one of the slower episodes, but I really enjoy episodes where there's a big role for Jim, and this one is a great role for Jim, and I really enjoy that. In at number 18, we have The Carpet Cleaner. The Carpet Cleaner is a good episode, I quite enjoy it. I really love Martin's attempts to cover it up, and I really like episodes of shows, because in every show, almost every show, there's at least one episode where there's some sort of word mix up. In this case, when Martin's playing the Carpet Cleaner, double. I just think that's really funny. I really enjoy episodes and shows like that. And the Carpet Cleaner, you do feel bad for him in the end, because he fucking dies. But you also feel bad for Martin because he's just stuck with this dead person on the floor. And obviously, I think, so Larry and Val are in this episode, and there's a whole fiasco going on there. I do think the episode is good, and I really like the bit at the end where she says, well, Martin, let's go to Paris. In at number 17, we have For Sale. Now, this is the last episode of season 5. Oh, no, season 4, sorry. I think it's season 4 anyway. But anyway, this episode is very good. I really enjoy this episode. And there's so many good things about it. I mean, obviously, it's one of the more serious episodes. I'll say this is the point where I stopped really liking episodes. It's one of the more serious episodes in the show. Like, the family house being sold. But, yeah, it's the last episode of season 4. I just checked. So yeah, it's a good episode, and obviously I absolutely adore the scene where Jim comes looking to buy the Goodman's house under the name of James. I thought that was very funny. And obviously when he's taking measurements of Jackie's bed to make a replica, that was just really good comedy gold. And the end bit where they dismantle the entire hallway just to get the people to not buy it, it's really funny. Coming number 16, we have Christmas. Now, this is the only episode to be a special. It is the Christmas special. Each season has 6 episodes, but season 2 has 7. This is the first appearance of Horrible Grandma, which is Dad's mother, and she is an absolutely awful character. She is horrible, but damn, she's so much fun. Horrible Grandma is just an absolutely awful person. She completely neglects her entire family and her grandson and her her daughter-in-law. And she's just horrible to them. But you have a blast from watching it. Horrible Grandma is just so rude to everyone and so awful that she makes the Christmas episode like just a misery. I mean, Grandma and Horrible Grandma have the fight, which is absolutely amazing. And obviously Wilson humps Grandma's dog, Boudicca, and then the dog dies twice in the episode, which I thought was pretty funny. And a main reason why I have it this high is because it's got possibly one of my favourite lines in the entire show, a very underrated line, where Jim comes in as dressed as Santa and goes, "Have a little peace offering for the incident earlier. Orange squash, you just add water?" I just thought that was amazingly funny. He's so happy about the orange squash, as many people should be. Coming number 15, we have The Funeral. Now, this is the 3rd appearance of Horrible Grandma. Oh, is it? Yeah, this is the 2nd appearance of Horrible Grandma, and she is just as horrible in this episode as she is in all the others. I think this is the 2nd episode in the daytime trilogy. So the daytime trilogy is obviously the episodes that take place in the day. That is Christmas, The Funeral, and the one we'll get to in a minute. I didn't mean to place them all together, actually. The next one is the other daytime trilogy. The Funeral is a great episode. I really enjoy it. Obviously, Val is thrown in the mix with Horrible Grandma here, and the way they play off each other is just really amazing. Obviously, Horrible Grandma looking over the cabinet in the police station is amazing. Uncle Saul's funeral might be one of the most disastrous things that have ever happened in the show, where Jim shows up, Johnny is watching the Grand Prix, or listening to it, his headphones come off, the sound of the racing cars starts playing, and they drop the coffin, and Wilson appears to eat Uncle Saul's carcass. And also, I figured out, I know that Horrible Grandma says that Saul's full name is, I think it was either Saul Richard Epstein or Saul David Epstein. I think it was David. Yeah, Saul David Epstein is his full name. But if you take the normal Goodman name, he becomes Saul Goodman from Breaking Bad, which obviously is just amazing. Coming in number 14, we have The Big Day. The Big Day is the episode where Grandma marries Lou Anthony Morris. Now, obviously, this is a Mr. Morris episode, so it's going to be amazing. But it's not. Mr. Morris is really the only redeeming feature. Apart from Mr. Morris, the bit I really like is when, in the beginning, when Grandma comes in the house, just, "Careful, careful, yes, careful, Mum, yes, careful." I thought that was really funny. But really, Mr. Morris is obviously the redeeming quality here. We get so many iconic lines out of this episode. "Wish that stupid git would play something we bloody know. I don't want you soiling yourself in my car." And, of course, the iconic bit where Jim walks in, "No!" And, obviously, have they done the sacrifice yet? I mean, so many funny moments in this episode. I really enjoy it. And it's the last episode appearing with Mr. Morris, which is very sad. Coming in at number 13, we have The Tin of Meat. Now, this is a season 5 episode where Auntie Val moves in because she's lost her house because she broke up with Larry, and she's throwing all Martin's stuff out, which, to be fair, is a dick move by Val. I mean, come on. Absolute dick move. And Martin, obviously, is outraged, and she goes to her ways good luck meat, which is 20-year-old meat that was in the shed when they moved in. Obviously, Martin should not have done what he does in the episode. I won't spoil it, but, I mean, it ends badly. It's a very good episode. I really enjoy it. it's got some of my favourite lines from Martin, including "Where's my meat?" and obviously the whole mix-up with Johnny's keys was a pretty cruel prank by Adam, to be honest. But I mean, it was funny, wasn't it? Coming number 12, we have Buggy. Now, this is one of the most iconic episodes, I think. This is with Adam's toy plush from when he was a boy. It's a little bunny rabbit called Buggy. Now, Buggy is just an amazing episode. There's so many good things. I've obviously got Jim speaking Chinese, Wilson leaving a little something behind the counter, losing Buggy in the lake. He's taken my buggy. The fight over the box to begin with, the baby picture of Adam. There's so much to enjoy in this episode. It's just one of the absolute best episodes of Friday Night Dinner. It is so funny, and I could watch it over and over again. Obviously, there are some qualities slowing it down. I think the coal joke with Dad gets a bit boring after a while, and I just don't really like repeated jokes, apart from one episode, which we'll get to later. But apart from that, it's just an amazing episode. I really enjoy it. Coming in number 11 is Dad's Birthday. Now, a lot of people don't really care for this one because they don't like the ending very much, which I get. But I think this is the best episode of Horrible Grandma, in my opinion. It's just amazing. Such a good episode. I really enjoy it. I mean, there's so many iconic lines from Horrible Grandma saying, "Oh dear, the shelf just fell off the wall. I don't know how it happened. The wine went all over the chairs." I mean, there's so many iconic lines in this. Also, Martin looking up where the whole family is going to die. That's just an iconic line. And Martin is not going to space. Coming in number 10, we have Joy of Joy, King of Kings. Adam gets to play his shitting violin. The violin is just an amazing episode. It's so funny. I actually watched this one earlier today, and it's just so amazingly funny. There's so much to love about this episode. Obviously, we've got Spencer the Doctor. Sorry, not Doctor, who cheated on his exams. We have Dad plucking hairs from the entire family. Grandma having a fall. Sadly, this was after the point where the actress who portrayed Grandma passed away. It was only voice clips on the phone. But Grandma had a fall and was defrosting the freezer while Adam plays his piano. The brutes, aka the police, take away his sorry, not piano. Why did I say piano? They take away his violin in the end. And it's a very good episode. I really enjoy it. Johnny is a massive cock in this one, but it's made very well, and it's very funny. Obviously, get another appearance from Val, which is amazing, because I love Val. And it's just an absolutely amazing time. Right. Top 10. Coming in at number 9, we have The Fox. Now, The Fox is a great episode. There is absolutely so much to love about this one. I mean, The Fox is just so funny. Dad keeps a dead fox in the freezer. He wants to get it stuffed as a present for Mum, but he needs to keep it away from Mum. I mean, they take it all around the house. They climb out the window with it. They put it behind a chair in the dining room. Jim sees it. Master has to pay Jim. And take it in the hallway. Take it in Val's car. Carry it all the way back home. I mean, it's just such funny episodes. Dad smashes a window over another car thinking it was Val's. There's so much to love about this episode. I mean, it's got one of the best Martin lines ever, I think, when he's trying to kill the wasp with a brick. There's a big wasp. What are you getting, Jackie? Bike. I thought it was so funny. A great episode. I absolutely love it to death. Right, now the top 8. I think this is the point where I start to love episodes. I absolutely adore them and just think they're great. Okay, coming in at number 8, we have The Cage. Now, this is the episode where Val gets on a dating website and Mum has had a woman's procedure, which we need to ask, higher or lower? Or as Jim says, higher or lower, as he bites his peach. Now, that is an amazing episode. The Cage is just so funny. Val is amazing in this episode. Val has a date that's there in 10 minutes, so they have to scoff their lovely lamb. Jim comes in and assembles a dog cage, which eventually Val gets stuck in, because the cage is not for Milson, it's for him. The Cage is just a brilliant episode. I absolutely love it to death, and I just think it's one of the best episodes in the show, and it's amazingly funny. Right, coming in at number 7, we have The Au Pair. Now, The Au Pair is the one with Gibby, who is, well, the boys' au pair from when they were small. Now, the au pair is a tricky one for me. I really enjoy all of the episode. I think it's a great episode. It's got the iconic Jim moment with the creamy tea, but I find Jimmy annoying, and obviously Jim and Jimmy play great off each other, but the main reason I placed it so high, sorry about that again, was because just the last bit with Jim and the wolves. I think that is one of the best episodes in the entire show, best moments in the entire show, sorry, and it's just such an amazing episode, and I absolutely love it to death. Right, coming in at number 6, we have The Caravan. Now, The Caravan is a great episode. There's so much to love, including Martin, come out of your shitty caravan, over, Jim spilling the literal human crap on the floor, Milson going in the caravan and Jim eating a bit of chicken in there, Martin being really annoying and rude to Jackie, Jackie making Martin eat dinner in his caravan alone, the boys reveal to Mum that they have girlfriends, which is obviously an amazing thing. I mean, you feel really happy for Mum. I mean, there's so much to love here. And obviously, what may be more disastrous than Uncle Saul's funeral, the caravan actually catches fire. So, it's very disastrous. In at number 5, top 5, ladies and gentlemen. In at number 5, we have The Pyjamas. Now, The Pyjamas is absolute perfection. You love The Pyjamas in and out. The Pyjamas is just so funny. There's so much to love. We've got Jim learning to drive in his painted car. We've got Adam becoming attached to home. We've got Grandma and her bum medicine. Dad wanting to bleed and hang himself. I mean, there's so much to love in this episode. Obviously, Johnny is really annoying and really, really disastrous. Johnny leaves his phone in the car and Adam leaves his keys in the car. They go to next door grandma's, and the woman calls the police on him and screams. And then Jim gives them a drive home, and I won't spoil the end bit, but it's just amazingly funny. The Pyjamas is perfection, and we all love meringues and getting our toenails clipped. Number 4. So, which Mr. Morris episode out of the remaining 2 do I think is the best one? And number 4, I am putting Mr. Morris. Mr. Morris is the most rude old fucker you've ever met. He's so tight, so rude, so violent, so shouty, and he's just using Grandma for sex, pretty much. But he's so funny. There are so many funny moments in this episode. We've got slanderers, think you're tough, do you? Move out of my way, please. Nelly, we're going. I've been sexually assaulted. Can I get a packet of those? Where do you think you're going, Mr. Molester? And probably one of my favourite Mr. Morris lines, Lou Anthony Morris. There's so much to love about Mr. Morris. And Grandma, for some reason, stays with him throughout 3 episodes, which is just absurd. And then Mr. Morris eventually ends up taking his shirt off, chasing the family around the house. And I won't tell you what happens in the end bit, again, because spoilers. But Mr. Morris is just the rudest man in the world. But it is such a funny episode. I think it's probably, arguably, the funniest episode, apart from my number 1. And that's why I have it at number 4. Number 3, we have Mr. Morris Returns. Again, Mr. Morris is an amazing character in this. We get more iconic Mr. Morris lines, including, for bleeding shit's sake, bloody punk rockers, pineapples and the government, and of course, screaming in the car. Now, Mr. Morris is even more of a dick in this episode, I think. You think, oh, he's going to give Jackie a present. But it's a photo of him as a youth, because he was a handsome lad. Much more good looking than those two. Ugh. Now, Mr. Morris is just awful in this episode as well. I mean, he's obviously an amazing character, but I mean, awful as in rude. Now, Nelly obviously sticks with him again. Now his wife is dead, so they're not having an affair, which is better. but he's just so funny. The episode is so funny. Obviously, we've got Martin with his calculator. We've got Adam and Johnny hating Mr. Morris. Jackie wanting to kill him, being upset with her mum. They get engaged. I mean, there's so much to love in this episode. And obviously, Mr. Morris' obsession with punk rockers is just the funniest thing. Number 2. Which of the remaining 2 episodes have I placed at number 2? Now, number 2 is the mouse. Yep, the biggest role for Jim, where he comes round to the Goodman's house. I watched this episode earlier today as well, and I absolutely love it. The mouse is so unbelievably funny. We've got so many iconic Jim moments. Obviously, we got Shalom. We've got him spilling the paint everywhere, him smashing the plate. We've got mouse. We got both pieces of the mouse. We got shitting shit on it. And obviously there's just so many iconic moments in this episode, and it's so funny. Jim is, I think, at his weirdest in this episode. He's having about half a bottle of vinegar on his roast dinner. He's calling Jackie's food horrible, pretty much. He asks, how do I join being Jewish? He gets electrocuted. He purposely electrocutes himself after that again to get more attention from Jackie. He says he needs a little bit more, which is kisses. And Jim is such a perv in this episode, let's be real. Jim has always had a thing for Jackie, but in this one he just takes it to a completely new level. I think this might be the first episode where Jim has not been seen in his iconic jacket so far, I think. Like, jacket and sweater. Because he comes in his, like, suit and stuff, and the tie, and his yarmulke, or as he says, habakam, which he made out of his shirt. As Martin points out, your yarmulke matches your shirt. I think this episode is just maybe the funniest episode in the show, apart from number 1, and it's just absolutely such a good time. If you're watching Friday Night Dead for the first time, there's not an amazing story arc to it. I would highly recommend this episode to watch first. It is Series 2, Episode 6, The Mouse. Now, number 1. What episode did I place at number 1? I placed The Plastic Bag at number 1. Now, I may get criticism for this. A lot of people don't like the plastic bag. They don't like the repetitiveness of it. They don't like how rude Jackie is to Adam. They don't like Johnny's spacesuit joke. They don't like Val in the episode. But let me explain. Obviously, I love Val. I think Val's great in this episode. Maybe not as some others, but I think she's great in this episode. She's really funny. I think the whole cats thing is hilarious. I think Mum takes it too seriously and it's way too ridiculous. And I absolutely love it. But the main reason I love this episode is Martin and his plastic bag. Martin's plastic fucking bag. He can't get over it. From the beginning of the episode to the end, there's so many funny ways he tries to get it down. The stick, the bins, the rake broom device thingy. The pie lets him down, though. I mean, it's so fucking funny. I'm a massive fan of slapstick comedy. My favourite comedy show of all time is Bottom, which I will do a ranking video on at some point in the future. And the young ones as well. But the plastic bag is just so funny. I think the slapstickness makes it very funny. And I think some of my favourite Martin moments are probably when Martin's on the sofa and he goes, "Wait your prannies. If we get the rake and the broom out the shed, we can fashion a device and get the bag down. Fashion a device." And then we've got in the shed where they pull on it and he falls over. "Ah! You're right, Dad. Little turds." And then we've also got Jim saying, "Did you know there's a bag in that tree, Jackie?" And then obviously Val goes, "Oh, there's a bag in that tree. What's happened to Martin?" "I got pie in my ear." What? And then obviously Martin slips on the pie. The rake goes into Adam's car. "Adam, serves you right," says Val and Jackie. And then the end is obviously great, where Martin gets a delivery truck or a service truck to get the bag down, and then they put Johnny's coat. I can't not spoil the ending of this. They put Johnny's coat up there, and Adam finally turns to Mum and says, "Mum, I love you." But I think, personally, my favourite part of the episode, my two favourite parts, is when Probably when Martin slips on the pie with the rape broom device thing and it goes into Adam's car and Martin yells, "Ah, the pie! Martin! I didn't mean to, Jackie, it was the pie!" And then I think probably my favourite bit in the entire show is when they pull on the rake. You hear the absolute crash in the shed, Martin screaming, and then they go in there. "You alright, Dad? Little turds!" Absolute best insult in the entire show. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you did. And I think the next video I shall be doing is a ranking and reviewing of every single episode of Bottom. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, obviously again, please like and subscribe. And I will see you all in the future. Bye all!